What about the pitch or the sales presentation? I'm talking about 6 PowerPoint slides on the company, et cetera. Is that dead?
So I don't think it's dead, but I have a lot to say about like what good looks like and when you should do it. I think the company oriented sales deck is dead. I don't think it was ever super alive, to be fair. It's almost just a way to add content to an agenda that you don't otherwise know what to do with. To me, the right use of a call deck is when you book a meeting with an outbound buyer, they didn't come to you and you start that discovery call hammering them with a bunch of questions, it tends to not go very well because they're like, dude, like you reached out to me and now you're like pummeling me with all these questions and you practically have like a light shining in my face like I'm being interrogated. Like, just show me your product. How about we start with that? Which is like every sales rep's nightmare, right? That's not how you want those meetings to go. And so my suggestion for call decks is I call it a discovery prompter, where you get in a meeting room with an outbound buyer and you basically say, look, I have a lot I want to learn about your company, but my guess is you didn't show up to this meeting thrilled at the idea of me asking you 20 questions right off the bat. So how about we spend the first 10 minutes walking you through some of the challenges that we solve so that you have context and maybe even a success story or two. And then we can use that conversation to springboard what's going on in your world. And they almost always like exhale with relief. They're like, thank God I'm not going to be pummeled with questions. And then your deck has almost nothing to do with the company. It is a pain-oriented narrative where you're walking them through the challenges that you solve in the market in such a way where they can see themselves in the story. And if you're talking to the right ICP, and if you've got that deck like really well tuned and it strikes a chord, and then you end it by saying, anyway, enough about us and the problems we solve, tell me what's going on in your world. And you strike a chord, they'll like unload, right? They're like, that's exactly what's going on in my company. And let me show you how this is playing out, right? The principle behind this that a mentor of mine taught me like a decade ago is he said, if you can articulate a buyer's problem and pain better than they can themselves, like it's a page of their diary, they will automatically now trust you and want to engage in a discovery conversation with you. So that's how I think about call decks. It's a little bit different than like a sales presentation or a demo, but that's how I use them.